Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. If you're a true Lakers fan, buckle up, because what we're about to unpack might just be the beginning of one of the most important off-seasons in recent franchise history. The dust has barely settled from the playoff loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves, but head coach J.J. Redick isn't wasting a single second mourning the end of the season. No, instead, he's already moving full steam ahead toward a critical summer that could redefine the identity of this team. Now here's the thing. Redick's post-game demeanor might have been somber, but his words carried something far more urgent than disappointment. They carried a mission. A warning shot even. In a press conference on Thursday, May 1st, Redick made it crystal clear the Lakers are already in off-season mode, and he's laser-focused on reshaping this team into a true championship contender. "We have a long way to go as a roster," Redick said. "Certainly, we have guys who are in great shape. Certainly, others could be in better condition. My mind immediately goes to that. We got to reach championship shape. Now let's pause for a second. That's not just coach speak. That's a coded message. Could Redick be pointing the finger, even subtly, at conditioning issues that plagued the Lakers down the stretch? Is this his way of calling out the depth or lack thereof without naming names? Because let's be honest, fatigue wasn't just a talking point in this series against Minnesota. It was the storyline. Over the six-game series, the Lakers were outscored a staggering 127-85 in final periods. That's not just a red flag, that's a blaring siren. Fans watched in frustration as the team faded in crunch time, game after game, while the Timberwolves, led by an unstoppable Anthony Edwards, ramped up the intensity when it mattered most. Game 4 might have been the clearest example of this. With the series hanging in the balance, Redick had to rely on the same 5 players for the entire second half. No bench rotations, no relief. And when the fourth quarter arrived, you could almost feel the collapse coming. Edwards torched the Lakers late, and the team stumbled to a 116-113 loss after being outscored 32-19 in the final frame. That's brutal. But again, Redick didn't sugarcoat it. "We lost to a better team. That's the reality. We lost," he admitted. And that kind of blunt honesty might be exactly what the Lakers need right now. But here's where things get really interesting. Because while Redick is already dissecting conditioning and rotational issues, General Manager Rob Pelinka is looking at the bigger picture, and perhaps an even bolder one. Pelinka isn't just talking about improving the roster. He's talking about building around a trio, potentially lethal combination: Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. That's right. Despite LeBron's cryptic comments about contemplating retirement, Pelinka is operating as if the king will return. And not just return, lead. The confidence level in Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic is as high as it's ever been, Pelinka said. "We believe these 3 players offer incredible potential together, and we're committed to surrounding them with the right pieces to succeed." Now, this raises so many questions. Is Pelinka confirming that the Doncic trade, which many fans still can't quite believe actually happened, is the cornerstone of the Lakers' future? And more urgently, is LeBron definitely coming back, or is this just a front office move to pressure him into staying? Remember, LeBron will be 40 next season. The clock is ticking louder than ever. But from Pelinka's comments, it seems the front office is building with him, not without him. And if that's the case, then the next few weeks will be absolutely crucial. Because while star power sells jerseys, depth wins championships. And that's where the Lakers fell painfully short this postseason. The lack of a reliable big man to complement the frontcourt was glaring. That, according to Pelinka, will be priority number 1 this offseason. Could the Lakers make a push for a veteran rim protector? A Miles Turner type? Maybe even take a flyer on a younger project like Jalen Duren or Daniel Gafford if available via trade? The possibilities are endless, but the need is undeniable. And it doesn't stop there. Pelinka also mentioned targeting perimeter shooting and a defensive wing. That could signal interest in players like Buddy Hield, Gary Trent Jr., or maybe even Matisse Thybulle, names that have floated in Laker rumors before. Could this be the offseason where they finally land one of them? But let's not overlook this key point. The Lakers can't afford to get it wrong. Not this time. Not with LeBron in the twilight of his career. Not with Doncic just beginning his Lakers chapter. Not with Reeves proving night in and night out that he's more than just a role player, he's a cornerstone. So now the pressure is on. Redick has made it clear that there will be no passive waiting. No wasted time. This is a man who's seen what it takes to win, as a player, as an analyst, and now as a coach. He's bringing urgency. He's bringing accountability. The question is, will the front office match that intensity? Will the players respond to it? And beyond all that, could this be the beginning of a new Lakers era? One where the transition from LeBron doesn't mean collapse, but continuation? One where Luka Doncic doesn't just inherit the spotlight, but elevates it with a retooled roster built to dominate both ends of the floor? Fans are asking, could next season finally be the one where the Lakers return to the top? Or are we looking at another year of high hopes and disappointing exits? One name that continues to emerge in coaching circles is Igor Kokoskov, a former Mavericks assistant and longtime European coaching legend. If Redick decides to tweak his staff, someone like Kokoskov could be instrumental in maximizing Doncic's unique talents. It's not far-fetched to imagine a Lakers offense that mimics some of the ball movement principles from Luka's Eurobasket success, layered into the pace and spacing of the NBA. That hybrid approach might just be the secret weapon this Lakers team needs to outsmart deeper, more athletic playoff opponents. And speaking of outsmarting the competition, one area where Redick and Pelinka must align perfectly is player development. If the Lakers are serious about building something sustainable, they'll need more than just high-profile trades and free agent signings. Players like Max Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and even rookie Colin Castleton, should he return, must take a leap forward. Redick's reputation for detail and preparation could be a massive boost in this regard. He's not the kind of coach to waste a single rep in practice, and for young players trying to crack a veteran-heavy rotation, that matters. The Lakers also have to address the elephant in the room, Anthony Davis. While the focus has shifted heavily toward Doncic and LeBron, Davis remains one of the most dominant big men in the game when healthy and engaged. But this postseason exposed some worrying trends. Davis struggled with consistency, especially when facing physical defenders like Rudy Gobert. If the Lakers want to compete with elite teams in the West, they need Davis to be the defensive anchor and interior presence he was during the 2020 title run. And that means keeping him healthy, both physically and mentally. Whispers have started to circulate that Davis might be open to adjusting his offensive role to better complement Doncic. That could mean fewer post-ups and more rim running, especially in transition. If Redick can convince AD to buy into a more streamlined role that emphasizes defense, rebounding, and opportunistic scoring, the Lakers could become a much more balanced team. But if Davis insists on being a first-option scorer, there could be friction, and that's something this franchise can't afford with so much on the line. Let's not forget about D'Angelo Russell either. The polarizing guard had another roller coaster postseason, showing flashes of brilliance followed by frustrating cold spells. He's expected to test the market, but don't be surprised if the Lakers explore sign-and-trade possibilities to recoup value. A deal involving Russell could be the key to unlocking another piece, maybe a 3-and-D wing or a backup point guard with playoff poise. Either way, the Lakers need more reliability from their backcourt, especially when games slow down in the postseason. One potential target who's generating buzz is Malcolm Brogdon. Known for his high basketball IQ and playoff composure, Brogdon could be the kind of steadying presence the Lakers lacked during key stretches against Minnesota. He doesn't need the ball to be effective, he plays defense, and he can hit open shots, all traits that would thrive alongside a ball-dominant playmaker like Doncic. The Celtics may be willing to move him for cap flexibility, and the Lakers should absolutely be in that conversation. Then there's the question of identity. Over the past 2 seasons, the Lakers have vacillated between being a transition-heavy offense and a slow-paced, half-court unit centered on LeBron and AD. But with Doncic now in the fold, a more deliberate offensive pace may actually play to their strengths, provided the spacing is there. That makes the acquisition of shooters not just a luxury, but a necessity. The Lakers can't afford to clog the paint with non-threats from deep. Every roster move this summer has to be filtered through that lens. Does this guy help us space the floor? Internally, one name to watch is Rui Hachimura. After a strong showing late last season, he struggled with inconsistency this year. Still, the Lakers believe in his long-term upside. Sources say Redick sees Hachimura as a potential stretch 4 option who could thrive in lineups with Doncic and Reeves, provided he improves his lateral quickness on defense. If Rui commits to the work this offseason, he could emerge as a key swing piece for a team with championship aspirations. It's also worth revisiting the culture inside the locker room. After the 2020 title run, The team's cohesion slowly began to unravel with frequent roster turnover and unclear leadership dynamics. This new core, with Doncic's fire, Reeves' grit, and LeBron's legacy, offers a rare opportunity to rebuild that foundation. But it won't happen organically. It'll require intentional efforts from Redick, Pelinka, and the veterans to set the tone in training camp. Championship teams aren't built in April. They're built in August, September, and October, long before the national spotlight returns. Another X factor: LeBron's minutes. Managing his workload is no longer optional. It's a strategic imperative. If the Lakers are going to make a deep playoff run next year, they'll need LeBron healthy and explosive in May and June. That means fewer 38-minute nights in December. Redick hinted at this during his presser, suggesting that the team will be creative in how they preserve LeBron's body across the regular season. Load management will be a hot topic again, but for this version of the Lakers, it might be the only path to longevity. Let's talk about defense. While Redick's offensive philosophy will draw headlines, he knows that this team's ceiling is directly tied to its ability to get stops. The Lakers finished 18th in defensive rating this season, far too low for a team with championship ambitions. Adding a rugged, versatile wing defender is critical, but so is commitment from the existing stars. Doncic, in particular, has to show improvement on that end. If he can give consistent effort defensively, even if it's just in key stretches, it changes the entire complexion of this roster. Another name insiders keep floating is Dillon Brooks. While controversial, Brooks brings exactly the kind of defensive energy and mental edge the Lakers lacked this postseason. He can guard multiple positions, doesn't shy away from big moments, and could help set a tougher tone for this roster. Whether or not the front office is willing to deal with his baggage remains to be seen, but from a pure basketball standpoint, his fit makes a lot of sense. The front office knows this. And while their focus has been on maintaining flexibility to make moves for additional stars or role players, it's also about building a culture that's committed to winning at all costs. The chemistry between LeBron, Doncic, and Reeves is critical, and Pelinka is adamant that this group has the potential to form a winning trifecta. However, as the offseason rolls on, the big question will remain: how quickly can they build true cohesion and trust on the court? And let's not ignore the potential impact of LeBron's mentorship of Luka. While the two have never shared a locker room, LeBron has long been known as a master at nurturing young talent. His ability to bring out the best in teammates, especially when it comes to elevating their play during the postseason, is something that could help Doncic reach new heights. Luka is already one of the best players in the league, but playing alongside LeBron might allow him to take his game to another level. The challenge for LeBron, though, will be finding the right balance between being a mentor and continuing to lead the team as its primary star. Of course, there's always the question of what happens if LeBron decides to retire earlier than expected. Should that occur, it will shake up the entire Lakers roster and potentially lead to a shift in the team's long-term goals. But while fans may be anxious about LeBron's future, the reality is that the Lakers have already laid the groundwork for life after LeBron. Doncic is just the first step in what could be a seismic shift toward a younger, more dynamic core that can carry the Lakers into a new era of dominance. Another interesting wrinkle is how the Lakers will address their rotation of veteran players. The team has several older players, including LeBron himself, who, while still incredibly talented, are beginning to show signs of wear and tear. Redick and Pelinka have both hinted at the need to keep the roster fresh by integrating younger talent. This means more playing time for players like Christie and Hood-Schifino, but also strategic use of veterans like Beverly or Schroeder, depending on how well they fit into the team's needs moving forward. It's going to require a finely tuned mix to avoid the pitfalls of overloading the veterans while still giving the younger players enough time to grow. But what do you think about all of this? Are the Lakers finally on the right track with J.J. Redick leading the charge and Rob Pelinka making bold offseason promises? Do you trust that LeBron, Luka, and Reeves can form a championship core this team needs? Or are there still too many holes in this roster for you to feel confident? Personally, I'm excited. I see a team that knows what went wrong and isn't afraid to say it out loud. That's the first step to real change. I see a coach who's hungry, a GM who's aggressive, and maybe, just maybe, a roster that's about to get the reinforcements it desperately needs. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got a huge off-season ahead, And you better believe we'll be breaking it all down every step of the way. Let's go Lakers Nation.